My name's Jim. I'm from Erin, Ontario originally, and I live in Kelowna BC now. So I guess I'll start off with the negative and then end off with the positive of things that I would do again if I had the opportunity. So I grew up in a small town of 3,000 people in southern Ontario, and when I was 21 years old, I met a girl at the beer tent of our fall fair, which is the main event in town, which is simple. Yet at the time it seemed like kind of a big deal, but we dated for a year, and for our 1-year anniversary we decided that we were going to meet at the beer tent where we had originally met to get together in the same manner we did the year before. The night before we got into a big fight, and I hadn't been speaking for the day after, which was our anniversary, and I decided to go, figuring she would show up, and she didn't. I tried to get a hold of her all day and couldn't, and I consumed a massive amount of alcohol, probably close to 20 beers, and I just purchased a brand new Mustang, which was the pride and joy that I had always wanted, and at the end of the day, when I realized that she wasn't coming, I decided that I was going to go home and try to find her. So I got in my vehicle and started driving, and about 15 kilometers outside of town I fell asleep and I hit a bridge. Thank God I didn't hit anybody else. I wasn't hurt too badly, but my vehicle was completely written off, and it's probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to go through. She came to pick me up afterwards, and I had to explain to her what happened, and then the next day I had to call my parents and explain to them what happened. And putting my family through that kind of embarrassment was the most difficult thing I've ever had to deal with. I've never talked to a police officer since, and I don't ever plan on doing it again. But it was something that I did that if I could go back now and redo, I would definitely redo. Anyways, as for the positive, I'm a really big music fan. I've been a big fan of the Tragically Hip for a long time. I was having a conversation with a friend of mine one day at the cottage, sitting by the lake on the dock, about if you could pick your favorite band in your favorite venue, who would you want to see? And my choice was I would want to see the Tragically Hip play at the Key to Bala in Bala, Ontario. About a month after we had this, the girl I was dating at the time back in Calgary called me and said they just announced today that the Tragically Hip are playing at the Key to Bala. Tickets were extremely limited. 300 was the amount of tickets they were selling, and the Tragically Hip in Ontario would sell out 30,000 seat venues in an hour and a half. So she went online. I'd given up hope. I thought there was no chance of getting them. She went online and managed to get tickets. So we flew from Calgary back to Muskoka, and I took my 19-year-old cousin who had never been to a concert before, and a good friend of mine, and my girlfriend, and we went to see the Tragically Hip play in my favorite bar, and it was such a great night. Anybody that's been to the venue knows how amazing it is, and yeah, it was an unforgettable experience. So that was something that I would redo any day, anytime. So.